Hey guys, it's Rawhide here with another Nuzlocke video for you. This one is going to be an interesting one. In this Nuzlocke, Pokemon Pinball is going to decide my encounters for Pokemon Emerald. Now in Pokemon Pinball, we will start by playing one round on each field. One game on the Ruby field, and then one game on the Sapphire field. Our encounters were good on the Ruby field. We got Wailmer and a Relicanth. And then we evolved Wailmer into Wailord, caught him a Chomp, but we failed to evolve it not once, but twice. Then our final three were Shuppet, a Zubat, both of which are unevolved, and finally a Solrock. And then the game was over. So unfortunately no fire types, which Ruby is the only game on Pokemon Pinball where you can get a fire type. So we move on to the Sapphire field. In the Sapphire field I'm a whole lot better on. We started off, caught a Poochyena, followed by a Lunatone, evolved Poochyena into Mightyena, then caught a Loudred, immediately evolved it into Exploud. And then we caught Ralts, one of the best encounters in the game if we can evolve it up, which we did. Then caught Corsola, followed by Marill, which we evolved into Azumarill, a really good water Pokemon. Followed by Corphish, which we evolved into Crawdaunt. It's not the best, but it's decent. Then got a Barboach, evolved it to Whiscash. Then we got a Goldeen, which we evolved to Seaking. Then came Lombre. Then of course, we evolved it into Ludicolo. But then we got the Grail, a Mudkip. Once we got it, we wasted no time at all in evolving it all the way up to a Swampert. Then we got Sandshrew, evolved it to Sandslash, really good physical attacker. And then we got Beldum. I was excited about this one because Metagross is one of the best Pokemon in this gen. But unfortunately, we can't use it because Beldum is in the post game. But we did get an Oddish as our consolation prize, which we evolved up all the way to Blossom. Then we hatched a Chimecho, and then a Wurmple. And with Wurmple, we managed to evolve it to Cascoon, and then ultimately to Dustox. Then our final encounter of this run was a Spinda. And then, just like that, the second round was over too, with a score of over 2,057 Pokemon encounters for Emerald just in that one game alone. And as soon as I take credit for this really good high score, I'll show you some of the ones that we caught but can't use. Some of you are going to be really disappointed because we caught Regice, caught a Regirock, caught a Registeel, even went as far as to catch a Kyogre, and even the mythical Jirachi. But we can't use legendaries, so without further ado, we start the run. Our first Pokemon is Mudkip. We named him Kipper. If anyone's old enough to remember that show, remember to put Ben Gay on your knees. So, armed with Kipper, we go and fight our first rival battle against May. And this was an easy fight, 3 tackles, and it was over. And now, armed with Pokeballs, we begin the run. Our first encounter was Wurmple, which we captured easily. We decided to name him Wormy. Old SpongeBob reference. Then after Wormy, we added up, caught a Poochyena, and for it we decided to name it My Mud Dog. And if you're old enough to get the reference from that, well, I guess you're not too old then. I think Johnny Test wasn't on Cartoon Network for that long. Or that long ago, I should say. But anyway, moving on. Then we get Ralts, possibly the best encounter in the entire game. Gardevoir is an extremely good special attacker, and with access to moves like Thunderbolt, it makes him a threat, or makes her a threat to just about anything on the field. We preemptively gave it the name You Wish, because it evolves into Gardevoir. And speaking of evolution, on the way to Roxanne, Wormy evolved not only into Cascoon, but then into Dustox. Fighting Roxanne, we're feeling good. We got a Kipper. Nothing can stop us. One water gun, first Geodude goes down. Second Geodude, water gun, it goes down. And then Kipper hits 16, gets a little bit of a boost before we go into fighting the Nose Pass. Now Kipper hits him with a water gun. Then the Oranberry heals him, hits us with a block, which we weren't planning on running anyway. Kipper don't run from nothing. Second water gun, he ends up healing, but the critical water gun gets us the win. And we didn't even use our held Oranberry. I gave Kipper an Oranberry to hold just in case. He didn't need it. But now we got a Marshtomp, so we head to Buford and catch Zubat, who we decide to name Batty Light. Honestly, I caught him thinking that we would just immediately use him as a sack if we needed one. But he kinda grew on me. So fighting Brawly, not a problem when you have Wormy, who has Confusion and Gust. One Confusion takes out Machop. Then comes in Meditite. Meditite gives us a little bit of trouble just in the fact that it was annoying. One Gust takes over half. Then I switched to Confusion for some reason instead of a Gust. That one was my mistake. Figured with the bulk up it might do enough damage to kill it, but probably not. Now after two bulk ups, Gust is going to be effectively useless. Heals with a super potion, and then I just keep spamming Gust like an idiot. Here we go. Now I finally get it together. I go in, hit it with Confusion, and thankfully it keeps spamming Focus Punch, so all I have to do is keep hitting him and he can't hit me. Charges his last Focus Punch, hit him with a Gust, and down he goes. Next up is Makuhita. Now Makuhita, I should have used Confusion, but I went with Gust. He hits the bulk up, then I go for a Confusion and take it out. And just like that, 2 badges down, Kirlia, or You Wish evolves into Kirlia right before the fight with May. Now this May fight was easy. I send out Kipper first to deal with Wingull. So with that, I just spam tackle a few times, and thankfully his attack is high enough that it only takes 2. Then comes Grovyle, which I switch into Wormy. And then Wormy hits him with Gust twice, takes him down. And then out comes her final Pokemon, Slugma. But Slugma is easy work for Kipper. A single water gun, down he goes, and then we go to fight Wally. And this was a challenging fight. Just kidding, it was a blow over. One bite, Wally goes down, and we go to capture an Oddish, who I decide to name Radish. Yeah, I'm not the best at nicknames. But it doesn't matter if his nickname sucks. He is a good fighter. And Batty Light evolved. Just kidding, he can't evolve. But we let Radish evolve into Gloom. Now armed with Gloom, we go to fight Watson. And this is an easy fight if you've got Kipper. Everybody count the mud shots. 1 mud shot, 2 mud shot, 3 mud shots, support. And 4 mud shots. And he heals with a citrus berry, but the citrus berry does not do enough. Now 3 badges in, on our way to Fall Arbor Town, we catch a Spinda that we decide to name Dizzy. He wasn't with us for long, but we loved him. In Lombre, we give the most fitting nickname ever. We name him Miru B. Named after one of the best villains in any Pokemon game ever. Next up, we go and fight Maxie. And now I send out my Mighty Anna to match his, just to prove that mine is superior. And of course, he does prove it. But unfortunately, he gets off a swag. Actually, no. Never mind, I'm thinking of a different fight. This one went by easily. I just started spamming Rock Smash and lowering his defense to the point where he couldn't recover. However, this was my first mistake of the run. I did not switch out my Mud Dog. I hit it with a bite. I thought he could hold one more, but his stats have been lowered so much that he could not hit that second bite. And unfortunately, we lost him. But thankfully, Wormy's here to clean up the rest. Except for Camerupt. Camerupt, we switch into Kipper. It's hit with a magnitude, doesn't do much. Hit a water gun, almost kills it. Use the super potion, but it's not enough. Just like that, on to Flannery. Flannery starts with Nummel, goes down to 1 water gun from Marshtomp. Then out comes Slugma. Same thing, 1 water gun, 1 KO. Then comes Camerupt, which is a little bit tougher. If I had trained Kipper just a little bit more on special attack instead of making him a mixed attacker, this would have been easy. But 2 mud shots, and he goes down. Next is Torkoal. And Sunny Day is up still, so Water Gun is a no-go for now. And with 1 mud shot, he trades with a Body Slam. Then the sunlight subsides, so I could get off at least 1 Water Gun before having to switch back to Mud Shot for the KO. And now, it's time to go give our dad what for never coming home. I decided to start this fight Spinda versus Spinda. And thankfully he's a moron and keeps using a teeter dance even though Dizzy cannot be confused. So, I decided to just keep Dizzy punching. I stop to assess, and then continue the Dizzy punches. I decided to keep him in with Slaking because I think between Hypnosis and Dizzy Punch, he'll do good. But unfortunately the Dizzy Punch doesn't confuse, he misses the Hypnosis, and then a Facade from Slaking takes him out. So I go to Wormy, who has both Psychic and Protect. And for my strategy for this now, I'm just alternating between Protect and Psychic. Use Protect on Slaking's attacking turns, and then Psychic on his loafing turns. It's an effective strategy that works every time. In fact, it's guaranteed to always work, as long as you don't run out of Protect PP. So after swapping back and forth, we hit the final Psychic, and Slaking goes down. Next up is Vigoroth. And I decide to keep Wormy in because he's full health. But a few slashes make me rethink that. But he heals, I hit another Psychic, get the special defense drop, and decide to hit Moonlight. But a critical slash makes me rethink this plan. So, I go into Kipper, and try Old Reliable. So I go, hit a dig, doesn't do as much as I wanted it to. So I try Special Attack, and hit it with a Water Gun. Vigoroth goes down. All that's left now is his Lightning. July noon, I swapped into Radish. And I hit a Sleep Powder, which hits, and then swap into You Wish, because he's got the power, and she wants to flaunt it. So I hit him with Psychic, hits a Headbutt, doesn't do half, and then the final Psychic finishes the fight. After taking care of Team Aqua in the Weather Research Center, we go into the May fight. And this is where Batty Light kind of caught my attention. 2 Air Cutters takes out Slugma, 2 more takes out Lombre, and then finally 2 of them take out Grovyle. Just like that, You Wish evolves into Gardevoir. All of my prayers for this to be a successful run are being answered. At least until this fight. I start with You Wish. She comes out of the gate swinging with a Thunderbolt, taking out Swablu in 1 hit. Then out comes Tropius, which I don't really have anything on You Wish for. So, I switch into Mirror Bee. And he hits me, or I hit him with a Fake Out, just for a little bit of chip damage, and then I go into Batty Light. It's an Aerial Ace. I get off a Confuse Ray, which I hoped would save everybody. But, with Chlorophyll, he outspeeds, snaps out of Confusion, and KOs Batty Light with an Aerial Ace. And I forget that he has Solar Beam. So, I switch into Kipper. Mistake number 3. I go for Ice Beam, he hits a Solar Beam, and 1 hit KOs Kipper. So just like that, You Wish is back in the fight, and I'm spamming Psychic. He stops to heal, I hit a Confusion, then the sunlight fades, and I can finally outspeed. Pelipper, thankfully, is easy. After a Protect, 1 Thunderbolt takes him out. And then out comes Skarmory. And again, Skarmory's a cakewalk. Thunderbolt, he goes down. Our last Pokemon up is Altaria. So, I hit a Thunderbolt. Hits Dragon Breath, paralyzes, Synchronized paralyzes him. I get off another Thunderbolt, she goes for Dragon Dance. So now she outspeeds, but is paralyzed. So, Winona is down. Then, outside of Fortress City, I catch a Marill to fill the Kipper-sized hole in our team. Now for Marill, I decide to go with the classic nickname of Pika-Blue, based on the old rumor from the Gold and Silver promos. Also catch a Shuppet that I decide to name Puppet. Again, not the best at nicknames. But the good news is he'll never see the light of day, especially since Pika-Blue is evolving. Next we try to catch a Soul Rock, but Mirror Bee gets a little too overzealous, and a critical Astonish takes out Soul Rock. Then we go to fight Maxie, because he tried to wake Groudon up, and apparently we stopped it somehow. Don't know how we could have done it, but that's the first thing he thought. Thankfully Shruti is more than a match for his Mightyena. Hits himself, take down, slash hits, and then I swap Shruti for Mirror Bee. And I hope Mirror Bee can take him out, but unfortunately he hits Swagger again. So Mirror Bee hurts himself. Instead of dealing with it, I switch into Wormy. With a Gust, but he uses Scary Face and drops my speed. He then goes for a Swagger. Wormy hurts himself in Confusion, and then Mightyena gets a critical takedown, which kills Wormy. Rest in peace, Wormy. You were one of the really good ones. But thankfully Radish is there to clean up the pieces. He takes out Mightyena, and then for Crobat, we swap into You Wish. Wing attack does minimal damage, but the Confuse Spray can cause a lot of problems. So again, we switch because we definitely don't want to lose You Wish. I decide to swap into Peekaboo. But a critical air cutter almost takes out Peekaboo. So, back into You Wish, and then he survives, we hit Psychic, and that clears the way against Camerupt. Now for Camerupt, I'm debating heavily about who to send in because everybody has taken damage and Wormy's already dead. So I decide to go with Mirror B, who lives in Earthquake and takes out Camerupt with one Surf. And just like that, battle done. We go to Moss Deep Space Center, pick up the Sunstone, and evolve Radish into Blossom. Then, for Titanizer, we capture Whalmer, who we decide to name My Lord. And you see what I did there? My nicknames are getting better. And a Corphish. And Corphish we decide to name Fake Cloth. Then before the Titanizer fight, we evolve My Lord into Wailord, and Corphish into Crawdon. And now, it's time to fight Titanizer. My strategy for Titanizer is to use a combination of Surf and Thunderbolt to try and clear the first set of teams they have out. But if it wasn't for that Calm Mind, that Thunderbolt would have taken out Xatu on the first hit. But thankfully Surf does the job. It takes Claydol down to below half. And Fake Cloth is done for at this point, but I don't want to risk losing any of the other water types I have at my disposal. So I decide to keep Fake Cloth in and swap out You Wish for Mirror B. This turned out to be a bad decision. I'll tell you what, this whole run was just a series of bad decisions. My strategy at this point is to just Surf. But Solrock's charging that Solar Beam, so I hit a Fake Out to make sure that he cannot hit it. Then hit the Surfs, Claydol goes down, Lunatone is up, Solrock's Citrus Berry heals it, Solrock goes for Sunny Day, and with him knowing Solar Beam, this is bad. But thankfully a Surf from each of my Pokemon, even with the damage drop from Sunny Day, it still takes it out. Lunatone, however, does take out Mirror B at the last second. So all that's left now is My Lord and Peekaboo. And again, double Surf, and that's enough to take it out. So, 7th badge down, we go and fight Maxie again with Steven's help. However, Steven wasn't really much help. Surf takes down the Camerupt and gets Mightyena down to below half. Then Tabitha sends out his Mightyena. My Lord uses Surf, takes out Maxie's and Tabitha's Mightyenas. So all that's left now is Tabitha's Golbat and Maxie's Camerupt and Crobat. But a powerful Earthquake almost takes out my Lord, along with the confusion, so I decide to switch into Radish. If anything, Radish can put Camerupt to sleep. but Camerupt hits an earthquake and takes out the tank. So he sends in Skarmory, who decides to use Toxic. And outspeeding me, we can't put him to sleep. So I decide to cut my losses and switch back into my lord. And then, with one surf and an aerial ice, Camerupt goes down, and it's finally just us and Crobat. Skarmory hits the steel thing, drops him down low enough that one surf is enough to take out Crobat. Next, I decide to go and catch Corsola, trying to get as many of my encounters as I can, and I named him Cor. Guess I was wrong about my nicknames getting better. But oh well, doesn't matter. Our next fight is against Archie, who is trying to awaken Kyogre. So, we send in Trudy. Trudy hits a slash. 2 slashes, still no crit. Go in for the 3rd slash. This one crits and kills. And now Crobat's up. He goes for Confuse Ray. Trudy hits himself, and so I decide to take him out and replace him with my lord. A surf and a water pulse. It's not enough to take him down. So we just wait. He snaps out of it, hits the final water pulse, takes out Crobat, and all that's left standing is Sharpedo. So I swap into Radish and hit him with 2 absorbs. The second absorb, the fight is won. And thankfully, Cave of Origin, we managed to catch Sableye. Another one from one of our runs we had. And I just thank God that we were able to get him. But all that aside, we had to go and wake up Dad because the kids were fighting again. So Dad comes down, screams at the kids, and they all go to their rooms terrified. Then Dad flies off to go back for a nap, and we go and fight Juan. Now Juan is the easiest fight for one reason. He starts with Love Disc. So, you can set up Calm Lines like I'm doing on You Wish. I set up 6 Calm Lines, and then I sweep his team. Thunderbolt. Love Disc goes down. Out comes Crawdaunt. 1 Thunderbolt takes him down. And then Whiscash. I misclick Thunderbolt on Whiscash. But thankfully he goes for Amnesia, and I can just take him out with a Psychic the next turn. Next up is Celio. 1 Thunderbolt. He's done. Finally, it's Kingdra. 1 Thunderbolt, hitting through a double team, is enough to clinch the victory and get us our 8th badge. On Victory Road, we managed to catch our Loudred, which we named DJ Big Ears. Now, it is very important that we keep DJ Big Ears alive, at least through Glacia, because right now, this is our only Fire-type move user. He is the only one that can learn both Overheat and Flamethrower. So we evolve him into Exploud, and then we move into our final battle with Wally. So I send in You Wish, hit a Psychic. Altaria goes for Safeguard, so instead I switch to Thunderbolt, and it's a crit. Takes him down in 1 shot. Next up is Delcatty. 1 Psychic is enough to take care of her. And Magneton. 2 Psychics is it for him. Or a Psychic and a Confusion. Next up is Roselia, and a Confusion is enough to take him out. And then Gardevoir, we hit a Thunderbolt, and she uses Future Sight. So I swap into my demons, he hits a Double Team, and then there are 2 Double Teams, and then we hit a Shadow Ball, and the fight is over. Next up is Sydney of the Elite Four. Now, this fight, my main strategy is just to go all out, because Sydney's easy, right? So Shruti comes in, hits an Earthquake, hits Mightyena down below half, and so I finish with Swift. Next out comes Crawdaunt, so I swap into Radish. And then I put it to sleep with Sleep Powder. And then Absorb. However, this isn't enough to kill it, so I go for a Petal Dance the same turn he goes for a full Restore. Crawdaunt down, Absol hits a Swords Dance, which sends us into the second turn of Petal Dance. However, Citrus Berry heals, and Radish gets confused, so I switch back into Shruti. He gets a critical Aerial Ace, and I foolishly think I can outspeed. So, Shruti goes down, I switch into my Lord. My Lord hits a Water Spout, a Surf. Absol goes down, and we're into his last 2 Pokemon, Cacturne, who I immediately send in DJ Big Ears to dispatch. He slows me down with Cotton Spore and a Leech Seed, but Flamethrower hits, and is a 1-hit KO. Next up is Shiftry. Now Shiftry immediately goes for Swagger. So DJ Big Ears is confused, he hurts himself, so I decide to switch him out to get rid of the confusion and the Leech Seed. I go into Radish, and attempt to put him to sleep, but he goes for Swagger again. So then back into DJ Big Ears, into an Extra Sensory, and another Double Team. But DJ Big Ears lands the hit, and then Sydney is finished. Next up is Phoebe, probably the easiest out of the Elite Four. She starts with a Dusclops, who is knocked out by 2 Shadow Balls and a Confuse Ray. Here's the first Shadow Ball, he hits a Confuse Ray. He goes for a full Restore, but I hit him through Confusion with a Shadow Ball. Bring him right back to where he was. And then I hit the Confuse Ray. And I decide to wait it out. I don't want to waste any PP on Shadow Ball, so I wait and Confusion takes him out that turn. Next up is Banat, who falls to 1 Shadow Ball. I'll tell you what, it's really nice Sableye not having any weaknesses whatsoever. Now for Sableye, I decided to switch out to my Lord. So my Lord hits the Surf, takes him down into the red, hits a Double Team, and then another Surf is enough to finish the fight. Now, since my Lord's already in there, I decide to hit another Surf and take down Banat with a crit. Finally, it's Dusclops, who I hit with a Surf that is a crit again, and Phoebe is finished. Alright, we are halfway through. This fight is against Glacia. I'm debating using Hypnosis here, but I decided Thunderbolt would be just as quick, and then setting up Calm Minds wouldn't help because Glalie is up next. So I swap into DJ Big Ears. He switches into an Icy Wind, and then hits a Ice Beam which freezes. But thankfully, since I'm using Flamethrower, I defrost it immediately. Next up is the second Celio, and again, I switch in. He misses the Blizzard, I hit the Thunderbolt, and the second Celio goes down. In comes the second Glalie. Now DJ Big Ears is weak, so I don't want to switch into him immediately. I decide to go for Fake Out, but Inner Focus doesn't let it flinch. So I get pelted by Hail. He hits an Ice Beam, Confuse Ray hits, and Hail just barely avoids killing my demons. So I switch into DJ Big Ears again, hoping into my Lord, hoping the confusion's enough to keep him from getting hit. When Glalie hurts itself, I hit with a Water Spout, and that takes it out. Now all that's left is Wall Ring. Body Slam and a Water Spout. Water Spout doesn't do much on him, so I try an Ice Beam. Doesn't do anything, so I try switching into DJ Big Ears. He misses the Sheer Cold. I hit a Flamethrower, gets him down into the yellow, but an Ice Beam takes out DJ Big Ears. But it gives You Wish a clean switch. So one Thunderbolt, and then it's over. Now last up in the Elite Four is Drake. Shelgon always uses Protect first, so I use Surf to save Ice Beam PP. One Ice Beam is enough to take down Shelgon. The second is Altaria, which gets off of Dragon Dance, but Ice Beam hits and takes it down in one shot. Next up is Kingdra, who after a single Ice Beam is frozen. So I decide to capitalize on this and switch into You Wish, because Kingdra doesn't have a Fire type move. So I take this opportunity to set up 6 Calm Minds, which will effectively make You Wish a nuke. Now there's 4. Still frozen. 5. Still frozen. You gotta love freezing. It's a low chance, but it's really, really nice because if they don't use items, they can't do anything about it. And one Psychic takes out Flygon, and out comes his last Pokemon, Salamence. He gets off a Rock Slide, but falls to one Psychic. And now here we are. We are at the crux, the final leg of the run. The fight against Wallace. Strategy for this is to just rely on You Wish as much as possible. He recently learned Hypnosis, so I take out Wailord with a Thunderbolt because I know it'll KO. Next up with Tentacool, I put it to sleep, and I hit a Calm Mind. He stays asleep, I hit a Thunderbolt, takes it down in one shot. Next up is Ludicolo, and then I repeat the cycle. I use Hypnosis, put it to sleep, and then a Calm Mind to boost my special attack and defense. Then a Psychic takes it out in one shot. And then for Whiscash, one Psychic. Gyarados. I don't know why I decided to run through it again, but I hit it with a Hypnosis, and then I hit a Calm Mind. And then for whatever reason, I went for Psychic instead of Thunderbolt. But it gets the job done. Milotic is the last one up. 1 Psychic, and she is down. And just like that, we have officially won the run. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you liked the video, don't forget to like and comment, and follow for more Nuzlocke videos in the future. Thank you all for your support, and I will see you all later.